Welcome back to the morning show with me, Veronica Odeka. Mosunmola Shafar is the founder of lifestyle brand Guzel Kadin, a brand enthusiast about encouraging people to make healthier lifestyle choices about their skin, hair, body, home, wellness, and intimacy. Guzel Kadin encourages natural beauty and healing lifestyle through education, products, and services incorporated with ancient lifestyle secrets from various cultures around the world, with strong influences from renowned rich cultures in northern Nigeria, northeastern Africa, South Asia, and Western Asia. Welcome to the show, Mosun. It's great to have you on.
Thank you.
So it's not just a natural skincare, this is a movement that you have going on here.
Yes, it is.
So just let's start by talking about how did you even get into this?
So I realized that, I personally, I have a lot of skin issues. Usually I realize that when I eat processed food, I break out. When I use strong products, things like steroids, steroid creams and all, I also break out. I have like serious skin issues, allergies.
Okay. How old were you when you started to discover this?
I think
or really start to know, because you know, like sometimes when kids are little, they might break out, we don't know what it is, but as we get older as adults, we start to know what specifically is causing issues in our...
Yeah, so by the time I got to university,
you started to
really
realize
that there was
there's certain
an issue.
things,
Yes. So, but then again, my grandmother was alive at the time, and she was very passionate about, you know, natural products, about, you know, shea butter, coconut oil, and palm kernel oil. So I used to get a lot of that. Okay. But then I went to the UK, and I really had like issues with my body, with my skin, with my scalp, you know, and I started getting prescribed a lot of steroid creams, but I didn't know, you know, it just seemed to get worse. Nothing seemed to really work. So I would then call them and say, can you get me some shea butter? Can you send me some coconut oil?
Things that you were using before. Now.
Yes, so I started to mix my own black soap, started to mix my own whipped body butters.
So that was that's for your skin?
Yes, that was for me personally. Yes. And I realized that things started to stabilize. It got much better, and you know, I got my life back pretty much.
Pretty much snatched back.
You know, and then I became really careful about the things I ate as well, because I know that, you know, once I ate processed food or bad oil, it will immediately break up. As in, literally in an hour, you would see my skin start to act up. So, so when I got back and I started to do a 9 to 5, friends and family would then say, "Oh, Mo, can you mix me some black soap? Can you?"
Because obviously they were now seeing that it was evident in you that it was working for you. You are the testimony of the franchise and the business that you've actually built.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, like we like to say, there's always a problem, and then when you find the solution, you become the voice of that solution for the brand. So how long has it been since then, and what has the journey been like now? Because obviously, like you said, it's doing one thing for yourself, but then recognizing that other people share the similar issues, and you being able to now provide and turn it into a business and into a brand. How has that been?
So, I mean, we've been doing this for about 2 years now. And to be honest, I think that we were lucky in the sense that the natural hair movement started by the time we started to do this business. So people were a bit more objective about considering the possibilities of using natural products to incorporate natural products in their lifestyle. So I'm not going to say it was easy, but I think that it was much better than if we had tried to do this 10 years ago.
Yes, so it's been worthwhile.
Yes,
so what do you consider to be natural? What is your definition of a natural product, either that we can use to eat or something that we use on our skin?
So my definition of natural product, because that's very interesting. There's a constant battle between natural, organic, and chemical.
A lot of times, people say just because it's natural does not necessarily mean that it's going to be good for me or good for, you know, sometimes people say, oh, it's natural, so I'm just going to use it. But sometimes that doesn't necessarily mean that it'd be good for me. But, you know, and sometimes somebody might say natural could be something that is actually put together. Some people will say maybe plant-based, you know, so different types of things, you know. So what is just your, in the way you've used it to set up your business or your products or the services you offer, what would be considered natural?
So natural would be, first, considering what you said, I want us to realize that even when we say natural, natural things have chemical reactions. So the problem here is that usually when people hear natural, they assume that there's no chemical reaction happening.
Sometimes,
You know? So natural products are, for me, natural is plant-based.
Okay.
You know, trying to get as close to nature as possible.
Yes, so that it definitely helps work better. And so what are some of the things that you've been able to put into the black soap or to create your products with? Is it just the black soap or just the shea butter, or do you have like specific mixtures, or what are some of the things that go into your products, or what we should look for?
So we have different formulas for different. So the thing is, you also have to consider things like skin type. You need to consider possible skin conditions. All of these things have to be put into consideration. So because something is natural, doesn't mean that, you know, a lot of thought and work doesn't have to go into it. Because the thing is, now with the natural movement, there's a lot of DIY out there.
Yes.
And so, you know, there's a lot of, you know, products flying around.
There's so many. You can just go on YouTube and just say natural products, and I mean, it's just, sometimes it's so overwhelming, and there's just so much out there. So how do you even sustain your business in a time, like you said, when there's a DIY, it's just everywhere?
So the concept of the business is beyond the fact that we want you to get close to nature. We also realize that there are things like good manufacturing practices. There's formulation where you have to actually look into each product, research each product, research all the ingredients that will go into each product based on skin type, based on skin conditions, based on the environment that you're
living in,
and all of that. So all of those things are put into consideration, and then all of those things are manufactured with consideration for good manufacturing practices. But the thing is, so when in comparison with, you know, just over-the-shelf products, we put a lot of thought into some of the products. We put a lot of nature into the products. All of the products are handmade.
Okay, so what would be some of your most popular products that people seem to gravitate towards, or that you see that once you made it, it was like, this was selling, we're like, we've got the winner here. This is a hot cake. What are some of your products?
The exfoliating soap. We have the exfoliating black soap that's made from dilke.
Okay, what is dilke?
Dilke is an exfoliant used by the Northerners and the Arabs for their brides. That's one of the things that, you know, when they're getting their brides ready for So we use that as the exfoliant. Just the way, I mean, an exfoliant is something that you can use to scrub off like dead cells from your skin.
Dead cells,
so kind of like sugar. What we are using on the other hand is the dilke, which is very well known and very well accepted in the North and the Arab countries. And then the things like the turmeric, which is
I hear that turmeric is supposed to be really good, something that people use a lot.
But the thing about turmeric also is that it makes you super photosensitive, especially in a country like Nigeria that has a lot of sun in it.
Okay, so see, it's also really good, like you just said, important. So even regardless of if it's natural, people should try to understand that, for instance, using the turmeric, you might say, oh, well, if I was visiting the UK, if I was living there and I was having skin issues like you were, then turmeric might be better for me as opposed to being here.
Yes.
Right? So it's really good to kind of understand the products. But the turmeric product is selling. so obviously people are buying it and it seems to be working. Where can people get access to your products? Or if somebody wants to contact you because they might be watching and they're saying, oh my goodness, like I relate to her as well, like I'm breaking out, or even my child is breaking out, I'm not so sure. You know, what are some of the things that I should look for, or how are the steps to recognizing what the issues might be that you have, whether it's what you're eating or how you're living? Because it's also wellness, like you said. So it could be like, oh, where I'm living, maybe my house, I should close my blinds in the evenings, or I shouldn't let so much sunlight because it affects me, or, you know, so what are some tips that you can share?
You know, my eating habits and things like that. Yes, so we have a lounge, but it's a strictly female lounge where we have services and hold events like our Queen's Connect, the Slumber Party. So people can come in to pick up products and consult. We also have a website.
What's the website?
www.guzelkadin.ng.
And on there, do you have like blog or information where people can, is there like a Q&A or information that people can, about the products and the services that you offer?
There's a lot of articles on each of the products.
On each of the products, so people can also go on there. I think that's really interesting what you're doing and the movement of lifestyle, because, you know, for me, I've realized that sometimes things come easy, and it's just because it's natural or because you're using it doesn't, or because you don't have an issue doesn't mean it's not okay to not still look into the products that you are using. So I really appreciate you coming on here and sharing all this information with us. And I'm sure I'm going to have you back on the show eventually as well to share more about what's going on with the business. Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Time now for a really short break on the morning show, but when we return, it will be all about the right way to remove coarse hair on our skin with wax specialist Ada Osigwe. Stay tuned.